What's up, guys? What of course you're seeing today is the Week 2 Nightfall. It happens to be one of the new strikes in the Destiny Taken King DLC. It's called Fallen, S.A.B.E.R, with all sorts of periods in between those letters. This one's one of the new ones. It's an interesting one. I like running it in the Vanguard Heroic Strikes because as much as it can be a pain in the ass if you're with a crew that doesn't really know what they're doing, it tends to run fast with crews that do know what they're doing and are of appropriate level. So it's nice. It's a nice run. This is the Week 2 Nightfall, of course, that I'm going to be breaking down. The most important modifier of note is that there is Void Burn. This particular section defending the Warsat, I'm going to break this down because it's quite interesting. You have two different strategies immediately right off the bat. You can stay on the Warsat, as we chose to do, to try and transmit it as fast as possible and get out of this area. Or you can have two guys stay on the Warsat and one sort of roam around and go for kills. Both, I think, are viable strategies depending on your loadout and your skill set of your players. It completely depends. Because the first strategy we chose was to just get it done as quick as possible because there's no cover on the Warsat. So if you were to sit behind it and just keep the enemies in front of you as much as you can, shoot them out and delay it as we did, the Warsat gets sent away faster. You can have the two stay on the Warsat so it transmits quickly, and one as a sort of hunter. And that way he can serve as an ambulance too, preferably a Night Stalker hunter who can go invisible in ambulance if he needs to. The biggest concern, of course, is if he roams around too much and dies, because as much as this Fallen Skiff does shoot arc and not void because of the buff. As you can tell, look at my health. It hurts. So make sure if you do have that roaming guy that he doesn't die too far away. Because if he dies too far away and the next person comes to try and save him and he dies, it's a wipe. So that was the best way. We just stuck on the Warsat and tried to level it up as fast as possible. But a lot of what I read online saying that this part here actually gave the most trouble to a lot of people. Because we do melt the boss. You'll see that after. The thing is, of course, with this DLC is that this strike has multiple different variants. You can have the Fallen version, which was actually the easier one, thank God. This is the easier version that you're watching here. Because the Fallen version is basically just arc. They still hurt, don't get me wrong, they still hurt. But you can have a Hive version where there's also, the ship that comes in for the Hive actually ends up shooting Void at you, so that really hurts. And they have the Acolytes that shoot Void out of their guns, and they come in numbers, so that hurts as well. And you can have the Taken version. The Taken version's fun too, because as much as I believe, and I can't remember the last time I ran the Fallen version, or the Taken version of it, I don't believe there was a shit ton of Void that gave you an unbelievable amount of problems. And there's no ship, they just appear from another dimension. Having said that though, they do give you concerns because they have the Taken captains that blind you. Then you run away to get out of the blindness and run into an enemy trying to sword you to death or shooting some other weapon at you. So it becomes a bit of a hassle, becomes a bit of a problem. But we got past that part because we happen to have the easiest part with the Taken. If you're having issues with this one, I'd say try to go back to orbit if you can just continually can't get past the Fallen version or the Hive-Bird, the Taken version. Go back to orbit, try and do it again. Hopefully you draw the Captain version or the Fallen version. The second part upcoming here is actually the puzzle part. It's not too bad, but if you've run it before, if you haven't run it before, and I've ran into this problem when I was running into the strikes, after you clear the room here, there'll be a section in the back where you have to actually throw in a grenade to disable, what's his name, Rasputin, as I die there, of course. You could throw in the grenade. A lot of people, I'll point at it, because I'm not connected through a microphone with the people, I'll just point at it and say, throw a grenade in there, but they won't know what to do. So it becomes a bit of a hassle. And the next part after that, of course,
a non-critical damage
is you have to run the maze. And we'll get to that in a second after we clear this room section. But, the maze will be a lot longer to talk about before we get into it. The maze, well, actually, no, sorry, I'm getting a bit sidetracked. This part here, once we clear the room, what happens is, like I said, you have to throw the grenade in to unleash the second part of the room. Then you have to double back basically to where I'm standing. If I was to turn to my right, there's two tunnels. The first tunnel will basically goes nowhere. The second tunnel has a trap door. You shoot the
Oh, did you?
trapdoor, you fall down the trapdoor, you will see it for yourself.
So,
And once you
and
fall
then,
down that
just
trapdoor,
use
it
this right
puts
click.
you into the maze section. This part here is the best strategy I find, just to stay back. There's not a lot of cover. If you
Taking
have a
that heavy.
bubble, as you saw right there, it's infinitely better because you get the weapons of light
I
and it
wish I
gives you
had a
some
board for
cover.
machine gun.
And you keep the enemies in front of you. There are
Oh, I
snipers that
cannot
spawn on the
wait
left
till I
side.
use my
See,
my
my
Void
grenade wouldn't
Super
work in this
with
case.
the
I've
Void
tried so
rocket
many of these
launcher.
Night Stalker Hunter grenades
Yep.
and they just
Yeah, I
didn't
got
work.
one.
But I do believe, and I don't think my brother had one. Oh no, he did. Never mind. There was one where we sometimes a fallen captain
It's fine.
drops a solar section or a solar cannon, and you can use that too. It works
I'm
just
trying
as
to
well.
think. I don't think any.
Like I
It's
said,
only void during the boss
shoot
fight on this
that,
server.
drop down. And this next part's the maze that I alluded to earlier. When you're going through this maze, I see a lot of people push up as a group of like 3 and 4 or 3 into one section. I would not advise doing that.
Where they just
I'd
line
have one
themselves up.
guy just go forward. In this case, I think it ends up being me. And have the two just stay back. Have them clear out the exploding guys, because the exploding shanks do pop up. You'll see. Sit right there. All they have to do is just sit there, mow down the fallen shanks behind you, give you some cover as you bring the relic, because you have to go grab that relic, avoid the lightning, and bring it back to where your teammates are standing, because that's the entrance to where the boss will
I
be.
don't mind. I can go forward. Nope.
So you see
Okay.
me just dodge it.
I'll stand this way.
You'll see me pick up the relic here.
You shoot any
And the
that are
thing is,
behind
you
me.
can time it. The second the lightning goes away, see, those are the exploding shanks. Having teammates take them out for you so you don't have to worry. Time the lightning as it goes away. Come back. There'll be another lightning on the left in a second. Pass by. Done. That easy.
Yeah,
Two guys
the
covering for you
lightning
make this a
stops.
breeze.
Brothers got you.
And that's basically about it for that particular section. The next minute or two, we'll be pushing up to get to the boss. As usual, just stay back, keep the ads in front of you, shoot them with Void. They go down quick and easy, no problems. The boss himself has 3
Hey, I wonder if
phases
you can
though,
hide
and
on
that's
me.
interesting for this section. Of course, he has all the elements. First element, he starts with his solar. He starts off as a solar sniper. I have been one shot. Maybe that's because my health was low and I wasn't paying attention at the time, but he does deal an incredible amount of damage per shot. So stay out of his line of sight and use the cover that pops up from the ground. That's the easiest part to do that section. The second phase he has, which is the part that you will be really thankful if you have a Bubble Titan teammate, because he's Void, and he continually just shoots at you with a cannon of Void. It's a bit of a nightmare. If you stay in the bubble, though, no real problems. He just stays directly in front of you, shoots in the bubble, and then you just continually shoot him with Void. And the last phase, of course, is he falls apart, he's damaged, and he tries to electrocute you with arc. And at that point, you shouldn't let your guard down, but at that point, if you have him to that point, with 3 different Void weapons at your disposal, it's pretty much an almost guaranteed win as long as you keep your wits about you. And you'll see it here. That's it for the 3 phases. That's the breakdown. Enjoy the rest of it. See you later.
Is there another heavy ammo synthesis here, or should I just use it right now?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
When we see the shoot. There'll be 2 servitors before he shows up.
Still Piercer.
Do you think we could actually burn him down with our the burn? If you don't, then we just get too many ads on us, I think.
As a fellow inorganic life form, I just want to note that Rasputin has a much better setup than I do. He has a secret bunker with space weapons. I live in your backpack.
Is there another fight before him? Because I only have it about
We're about
half.
to jump down to him.
Well, I only have it about half. I used it.
I mean, I got my bubble, which will give you 2 orbs.
Okay, then I can pick up your orbs. I'll stay right behind you.
that shank's been modified to crack his system. Let's take it out.
Oh. No, we're not gonna take him down. But there's heavy spawn at the other end of the arena.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I'm going for the heavy, I'm going for the heavy.
Where the hell is it?
The hell?
He's almost dead.
Oh no, I forgot to use my 3 coins. Fuck.
I may have forgotten as well, but whatever.
Zavala, these breaches are a serious threat. Has the Vanguard tried to reach out to him recently? Get him to understand we're allies.
We planned it out.